Shelley Mamberto. Thad Taylor.
Here.
Dennis Otto.
Here.
Lee Trucks.
Approval of agenda. This time the Historic District Commission can take action to approve the May 4th agenda.
I did notice one error on the agenda. Under item 7, it should be 435 River Street, not 235.
Good catch.
Oh, thank
I
you.
didn't catch that.
435, 4.
Noting that one discrepancy and correcting it, do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
Moved and seconded without objection, the agenda is approved. Approval of minutes. This time, the Historic District Commission can take action to approve the February 2nd meeting minutes.
Do you want me to? Not
No, she's going to do it
Later.
so that it's done, yep.
All right. Move to approve.
Support. Supported to approve the minutes without objection. Public comment on agenda-related items. We have only one quasi-public here, Mark. New business, we have nothing listed.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we short one person now?
Yes.
Yes.
I talked to somebody who might be interested, but I said I wasn't sure we were short one person. So
We are.
if she's interested, she should just go fill out a form?
Correct,
Form of the
yes,
city.
yep,
Yeah,
She can
okay,
get that online too.
all right.
yep.
Okay, old business, 435 River Street. Matheson, who is not here.
He is not. I can provide a little bit of information on that. I did reach out to Joseph today. He was aware of the meeting. I wanted to make sure that he remembered it was today. He indicated that he had a doctor's appointment today and that he may, he had his eyes looked at and they may not be well by 4 o'clock. So he said he would be here if he could. And apparently he wasn't feeling well enough. So.
Well, I don't know what action you want to take without him here.
Right.
I think all the board members are familiar with the situation.
Yeah.
You're not?
No, I'm not intimately familiar, and I would feel more comfortable if he was here.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the building, the windows? You might want to just take a look at them sometime. They're really bad, really bad.
Basically, the issue is that what the windows that he put in have nothing whatsoever to do with what used to be there and what historically was there. The windows appear to be of some sort of decent quality. I don't
Yeah.
think they're bad quality windows, but it just does not at all fit in with the building. Is that fair enough, Mark?
I would say so, yeah.
Well,
I think, how many years ago was this? Was this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that? No, it wasn't, actually it was last year. Yeesh. And it's actually, I believe happened several months before that. If I remember correctly, the east side of the building originally had door, transom windows, regular windows, and you can see obviously where those used to be. Mr. Mathewson, without approval of the Historic District Commission, went ahead and put these windows in and kind of boxed them out and put them inside without any approval. Whether coming to see me at the museum, and on a side note, the HDC has worked with Mr. Mathewson on his old building, which he fixed up tremendously, looks phenomenal. But we worked with him hand in hand, myself, worked with him very closely, the HDC worked with him very closely. He came to all the meetings that he was supposed to. We got it all figured out and turned out great. But he went ahead and did this without any prior knowledge. And so that was really, the issue is he wasn't given approval to do this, and so far has not rectified it. And so that's kind of
Is there anything being done with the blighted nature of that whole section there?
Actually,
The windows are the best looking part of it.
that I do not know. I don't know what's being done with that. I share your thoughts on the property itself, but
Do we have, is it part of our job to recommend a blightedness to the city? Because it's awful.
it does look very bad, very poor. That's a little above my.
I think that it would be appropriate if the Historic District Commission felt that there were blighted buildings within the district to report that to the city. The police department enforces on blight. So if that's a concern, I would definitely encourage the HDC to, make that known to the police department.
Thad, you said you hadn't looked at it?
No, I've not.
Dennis, have you? You looked at it?
Yeah, I mean, just,
Uh,
I think I'm familiar, I think I know.
I did one a while ago, last winter, yeah.
Do we do that by a motion? Because I'll make that motion.
You can always make a motion for that, yeah, if you want to, especially if you want it to come formally from the HGC. We can put together a memo and have that sent to the
I'll
police
make a
department.
motion that the HDC recommend to the city that the building at 435 River Street on the Oak Street side be identified as a blight or cited as a blighted location.
Support. It's been moved and seconded to,
And if I may add, to Mark's comment, Joseph, although he's not present tonight, he did seem very willing to come into compliance and did want to rectify the windows. I think that's worth adding that, at least in conversation, he seemed very willing to work with the HDC and make sure that, his building fits what you guys want. He did mention that he had worked closely, with the commission previously on another building, and,
I'm glad to hear that. In fact, the windows are the best looking part of that very bad looking section.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem with windows. I have a problem with the fact that the thing is blighted.
Do we have some examples of windows that we would prefer to show him?
it really isn't so much the windows as it is the whole what used to be an entryway,
Well, I guess that's a yes and a no. What's there now or what was there before the windows is just that ugly wood that's painted black, and that's something that the previous owner did. I think of course, and that does look, in my opinion, very poor, and I think by HDC guidelines it looks quite poor. However, not getting any type of approval prior to him doing this, I think, is perhaps the main issue here. Now that he's already done and did this, and it's been sitting for a couple of years, I mean, how do we rectify? Can we give him examples of what is preferred, something that would be preferred to be there, like Dennis said? I do have photographs of, and these were actually taken in the 1970s. It should be the only view that I have of it. Taken from the parking lot across the street, looking there and looking at that section and seeing what was there before. I would guess that it would be very costly. But once again, that's not our.
Well, I would say if he put the world's greatest looking windows in there, that place would still look like a disaster. It's really the window openings and the doorway that used to be and that sort of thing that's ugly.
And I know that I would imagine he did that for some light in the back of that building there on that east side, but once again, not coming to us with any approval or, and this has been brought up on a couple of occasions with Mr. Mathewson, and a year ago, I think this same week when we had the meeting in May. We were never able to get anywhere with him or to help rectify this.
So we could give him some guidance.
I think giving him some guidance would probably go, or at least suggesting some things to say, hey, maybe something to look like this. All we can do is give him guidance, and if he doesn't like that, well, then I guess we'll have to proceed with something else. But yes, I think giving him some guidance as to what we would prefer to see there. I mean, that was a whole other entrance to that building, a whole other storefront, so to speak. So I mean, to do it correctly, go ahead, Ron.
I'm trying to remember last year, didn't he say that there was a particular reason why he couldn't do the windows like they had been in the past?
I don't recall that. I'm not certain.
It seems to me like there was something that he had said that, well, you would like to have the windows look like they did before, only no, but it seems to me like he had some kind of a problem, material problem or something where he couldn't do it.
Are you confusing that with the Elks, who said exactly that? They replaced their windows, but they couldn't replace them with the same windows they had before because they don't make them anymore. Could that
I'm not certain. I don't recall. I don't know if that's in the minutes or not. And it might be. I'm not certain.
I guess I'm saying that maybe that was his excuse for putting the ones in he did, because he couldn't do the ones that would have been more appropriate.
What would be more appropriate? Yeah, I'm not certain on that.
Well, I agree with you, not coming for approval is a problem and should be dealt with. But
Yeah, well,
because I said a minute ago, if he replaced those with great windows,
Yeah,
it wouldn't improve the blighted nature of that area.
of that area.
It would improve it, but it wouldn't make it not be blighted.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion that's on the floor right now to contact the city and cite that as blighted from the HDC. Seems to me like we have a number of alternatives, that we could approve that motion, we could deny it, we could wait until Mr. Matheson can meet with us, which would be another month, or we can figure out some way to maybe contact him and offer some assistance.
I know, he's got mullions in there, panes. Most likely, those can be removed, I think, depending on the window construction.
Yeah.
What if you went to solid, just window?
That would be the solid window to fill in that
Set of the panes there.
that area. Yeah, that would certainly be a lot more appropriate than what's there. Yeah, I mean, that was going to be that's a suggestion, certainly. Yeah.
My opinion, though, is if he did that, which would definitely be better, it'd still be blighted.
Yeah, but I mean, just to facilitate moving along with this window issue, if he can pull the mullions out of there.
Yeah.
And I think if you remove the inner panel, or sometimes they're just placed in there. You might have to, remove the window, but you can pull them out of there.
Yeah.
So if he would do that, that'd save him some costs. He might want to go, a little bit faster moving too, because we're dragging here, I guess, too, a little bit. I understand, but
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Would we approve solid paint if he could do it?
Solid.
Solid, just glass, solid glass, instead of any kind of mullions in there?
Well, I think we probably need to look at what the design of it is, because more
Well-
than anything else, the design of it, even if it was solid windows, would not be reminiscent even of what it was in the past.
There would be solid windows with framing. That's what it looked like.
Entryway there to get in with windows on the side and transoms and things like that, and if you just made that
That's-
solid,
I think
arguably
from
would be better, maybe, but.
I think from top to bottom it wouldn't, because that's a fairly
Yeah.
big space. There's 3 spaces there. That's a fairly big space from top to bottom with glass. No, but yes, there were transoms up above at one point in time. But window with framing, I think would certainly be appropriate. But perhaps if we could get him actually here at a meeting to discuss it.
I'm not sure that he's aware that that probably qualifies for facade grant money from the DDA too, if there's any there.
I don't know.
My concern is if we, come up with some examples of what he could do with the windows, to Bill's issue, if we ask the police department to look into it as blight, and I don't know, maybe the blight issues are so significant that he's not
Gonna want to.
move forward. That would be my concern. And I guess we just have to decide is what's more important is it a blighted building, and can the windows wait until that is resolved instead of pushing him to, as you said, even if he could put the nicest looking windows in there, you got the rest of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we have a motion on the floor right now, and let's find out whether or not
It's been seconded.
it's been seconded. We can vote on
I
that.
would move to.
Let's have a roll call.
Bill Cotter,
Yes.
Ron Humboldt,
Yes,
Lee Trucks, Thad Taylor,
Yes.
Dennis Otto.
All right. I get 3-2, that means it passed. So if you could make a memo and send it to the city and police department and let it know. We consider that blighted at this point. And I think we also should encourage Mr. Mattis to come in and talk to
Sure.
us and see whether we can come to some.
And if Mr. Matheson does come, I will bring copies of the photographs, which I think Zach actually forwarded to him at one point in time, but photographs of the building.
What it was previously. Okay, yeah.
But Mark, could you also bring photos of the kind of whole thing?
I'll do that, yeah.
The individual pieces, if you could see the whole structure.
Yeah, those are a little trickier to come by, but I do have a good shot of that particular portion of it that we're discussing here, the openings there on the east side of it. And I'll bring those when Mr. Matheson is on the agenda next time, so.
Okay, anything else on the agenda? Okay, moving on, permit review. I noticed in this permit review, quite a few of these where it's been completed. 411 River Street and 347-49 River Street is in progress, and the expiration date is the end of this month, according to a court action. But the painting, the signs, the tile entrance on the theater,
Can we go down them one by one and just sort of, because I took a trip around and looked at them all, and it looked like about, like you're saying, Lee, 2/3 of them are done. And the ones that aren't done, I'm kind of curious where they stand, if anybody knows. Where they
Yeah,
stand.
and if I may add, this was something that I was hoping to address before this meeting, go out and, give updates and close out any of these that seemed like they were ready to be closed out. Time has not allowed me to do so, but I hope to have that information, I will have that information for you at next month's meeting, and make sure to have this permit log up to date with photos of, all properties indicated on the permit list.
We were starting to talk about, Lee, about the 411 River and 347, 349, Jeff Gordon and Paula Rosemerick properties. What was the deadline that,
my recollection is May 25th. but
that sounds right, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure about that.
I don't think anything's happened there since Christmas. He's still got his Christmas decorations up.
What's the date?
May 25th, I think.
I'm thinking May 25th was the date that the court set that it,
2030 or 2031? Just checking,
2030.
just checking.
The 350 River Street is River Street Station, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, that's been completed.
that's done.
That's completed. 354 River Street is, well, it used to be the fabric shop. That's completed. 321 River Street is where there's an art gallery right now, and I don't know whether there is a projecting sign.
There is.
There is.
There is.
Yeah, that appears to be done.
383 River Street is the Vogue, and the tile was replaced. That entryway is done.
I don't know if you've noticed, but the tile is done, it looks real nice there, they did a nice job with that. But to the east, I guess it would be, those city tiles are all coming, or not tiles, but bricks are coming up. Somebody's gonna trip and fall on that if they don't take care of that fairly soon.
You know, I never have understood, they install pavers all over the world and they seem to work perfectly fine, but every one of them in Manistee fail. You know, something's wrong there. But I don't know whether we can go back to the architect from 20 years ago or.
See if it's still under warranty.
354 River Street, that's the same one as the final window graphic signs, and that's done.
The painting of the painting, window and the brick was never painted, I don't believe. I think it's still brick.
Are the signs done, the graphic signs? I didn't see.
And that's changed hands. That was Salt City Cargo for about 2 years, and then now it's the Port City Emporium. I don't know if the ownership of the building has changed hands, or if it's just the business.
No, it has changed
It
hands.
has changed hands. Okay, so then Kristen and Paul House. I mean that's completely null and void because the building has changed hands.
Yeah, the owner is now Lee Anderson.
Okay. So I would scrap 354 on there.
Guardian Angels Church, I don't know,
I drove by there too, there's no signs up.
There's no sign up there.
Bluefish dumpster enclosure and maintenance. I don't know whether that's,
That's been done or not.
I couldn't find it. If it's been done, it's way in the back, hidden away somewhere. It's not,
right on the side of the building or
No.
in the back of it, but
it might be in the back, but it's not on the side or front, of course.
maybe the fact that you can't find it means it's done.
I think. One or the
What I
other.
was thinking.
They did such a good job of blending in.
Get indication.
Okay, 457 River Street, what is 457?
That's downtown delights. That's
That's done.
Yeah, that's complete.
375 River Street.
That's the bank.
That was
Got
for
window signs,
the
that's
T and
done.
L sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's completed.
Looks good.
338 River Street Purple Paintbrush, that's done, as near as I can tell.
Yep.
So actually, we could probably close.
Most of them on this
Do
list.
we close them or do you close them, staff?
That would be something I would do. Yes, so I will make sure these are all closed out appropriately, and like I said, I can take pictures and provide those if that's something you guys would like. And then obviously for the ones that are still in progress, I will definitely report on those to you for next month.
And in progress, as far as I can see, is Jeff Gordon, Paula Rose American Guardian Angels Church.
And I'll double check the Bluefish as well.
Bluefish is questionable.
I think 354 River Street's uncertain too.
The painted, the bricks, yep, okay. I can go over real quick which ones I marked. The 354 River for painting window brick, the 371 Fifth Guardian Angel Church, and then Bluefish. And then was there one more that you had mentioned?
Guardian Angels?
Okay, yep, I got that one. So looks like,
411 River Street and 347-49.
okay, those are not complete still?
No.
Some aspects of them, okay.
But the
Yep.
354 River, which is on here twice, both of those are, it's not clear that's finished paying.
Right,
That's under new ownership.
okay. Yep, and I will make sure to have an updated list for you guys at the next meeting as well.
Okay, public comments. Don't think we have any. Correspondence, do we have any correspondence?
No.
Reports, DDA executive, I don't see. Museum curator.
Yeah, I do. Just one thing, and actually I signed off on it today. Katie's got the photographs. This is for the library. Typically, with the Historic District Commission, I'm given the, I don't want to say pleasure, but I'm giving the opportunity, if you were to come in and have particular projects that I could just sign off on, and so they wouldn't have to be brought to the Historic District Commission. This typically falls under routine repair and maintenance. In the past, I have signed off on different projects similar to what the library is doing. The library has their front Maple Street steps are in pretty bad need of repair. They're cracking, they're crumbling, and of course they've been patched a little bit, but they're looking to get all of them redone. Of course, that's a big safety issue with people walking up and down those stairs. And then on all facades of the building, I don't know if you can make it out the greatest there, but there is
On a specific picture too.
there is significant brick work that needs to be, and masonry work that needs to be done basically on all portions of the building. These are in the sidewalls. Katie, if you want to take that one on the left, on my left there, and give it a good turnaround. There you have it. Yeah.
This thing throws me so
And
off.
yeah, I know, I do too.
Turn it
Yeah.
again.
And then do it again. Do
No, the other way.
go 180 degrees on that guy there. All right.
Yeah,
One more.
That's 90.
There you go. Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
I'll flip it every way except for the way that I need it.
This at the very top, these are the if you were to go park in the parking lot and then look up at the top of the building in the back, you can see a significant problem with the bricks. A couple of them are falling down actually, and then on the front facade, you'll see a couple chips happening there. And then if you want to pull that up a little bit there, Katie, this is on the ground floor by the basement windows. You'll see a lot of work that needs to be done there. Full disclosure, I am on the library board, but this is something that was brought up at a board meeting. This is something I actually worked with them prior to being on the board, that I was about to sign off on last summer, but they had to hold off. But I've been on the board since January, and they brought this to me this morning, and I felt comfortable with signing off on it. Mainly because they've been working on it for quite a while. We're trying to figure it out for quite a while, and it needs to be done. It's getting to be a safety issue. I have provided Deb Greenacre, the library director, with the guidelines for the Secretary of Interior that we typically provide the person doing the work or the contractor, so that it's not just a quick and easy patch job, so it kind of blends in with what's already there. It can kind of blend in as possible as much as it can. Also for the correct mortar mixture. I've done that several times here and signed off on that under routine repair and maintenance. But they're hoping to start work on it sometime in the next couple of weeks. That's when the contractor's available. So it will be the front steps, and it'll also be repairing this work on the building. So it's
Repair it all.
going to repair most of it.
There are no changes in construction.
No changes, and nothing at all. No, just simple.
It's not like you're gonna plaster over the,
No, not plastering over, just
it's gonna be repaired.
going to be repaired, yeah. And to be blended in as much as possible, so it doesn't stand out. Obviously there'll probably be some of that, but
It's gonna be more than tuck pointing.
It'll be a little bit more than tuck pointing. There'll be some, especially where the bricks are coming loose, there'll be some masonry involved. I believe they have those bricks. But, yeah, there's, it's a lot of work that needs to be done.
Are they estimating how long it'll take to do it?
I guess they're hoping it'll be a couple of weeks. You'll see some, you'll see a lot of they'll quarantine off or rope off the front steps, and so you'll see a lot of work there on the lawn and have scaffolding up and everything. So they bring in their full crew, I guess, and I think it's a place out of Ludington or Grand Rapids. I forget exactly. But they'll be here and they'll be working on it for a couple weeks. So I wanted to bring that to you just to keep you aware and so on and so forth.
If anyone was curious on the contractor, they are out of Ludington.
They are out of Ludington.
Washoe Construction.
Okay.
Construction.
All right. Good deal. All right, thank you.
Okay, planning and zoning administrator.
I do not have any updates.
Yes, you do.
I do? Oh, you made me a note.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
Okay.
Just to read my note.
Yes, I have an update.
I've got two more things quickly to add. The museum and myself have been working with the Visitor Center and the Right Side Design Group, as well as the Little River Band Vado Indians, on putting together a new walking tour booklet of the community. We did this several years ago, and it was really well received. Actually, Lee's lovely daughter Tony narrated all of the videos that corresponded with this booklet. Visitor Center got a grant through the USDA to compile a new one, and so we decided to, after talking about it, we asked the tribe if they would like to be involved to help tell their story and their origins of around the area. We added several historic buildings to it, as well as several historic homes, and we're highlighting several the museums, not just ones here in the city, also in the county, as well as the cultural corridor up at the Little River Band offices. We're also, another component to that is an Origins Walk, which will be installed down at First Street Beach. It's as you get off the Riverwalk, kind of where the intersection of Cherry Road and First Street is. There'll be a sculpture Origins Walk where this walk will start, and then it'll go around the sidewalk where the birch trees are on First Street Beach in Douglas Park. And so there'll be about 4-foot-high sculptures that are carved in the shape of the faces of select founders here from Manistee. So like T.J. Ramsdell, Byron Cutchin, Robert Rice, who was the first newspaper editor. And so this will be, there will be also several Native American sculptures too to go along with it. So this will encompass about, I believe, 18 different sculptures. So as the sun kind of gets high at noontime, you'll be able to see the sculptures and their shadows kind of over the sidewalk, and then they'll have a corresponding plaque which will tell information about some of these people. We decided to have a mix of people instead of just lumberman after lumberman after lumberman. It gets kind of old after a while. So we included Byron Cutchin, who was a very well-known lawyer here in Manistee, several women who were very integral to the community early on, Silas Overpack, who made the logging wheels, and lots of other people. So this will be another aspect, and we presented it to City Council a couple months ago. I got the go-ahead to move forward on it, and it should be installed hopefully by July 4th, and then the booklet, which will be about 140 pages big, will be published hopefully around that time too. So we're just putting the finishing touches on it. It's a wonderful way to highlight our community. It's really a very comprehensive book, and there's a ton more we could put in it. And I think it's something to be very proud of, and that goes along well with the history of our community that visitors will be able to enjoy. Anyways, I wanted to mention that and bring that up to you. Look out for it in about another 6-7 weeks or so.
Who's underwriting it?
The grant from the USDA. The visitor center, basically what happened is that after that the last one we did was very well received by the USDA. They told Brandon of Right Side Design, who does all the work for the visitor center, is that if you ever wanted to do another one that's even more comprehensive, your chances will probably be pretty good that we would be able to fund that. So knowing that, we went for a grant. The visitor center got that grant, and that is what's going to be funding this whole thing.
What are the sculptures made of?
They're made out of a steel, so they'll kind of weather, and the plaques will be, put it this way, they'll probably be vandalized at some point in time, but they'll be very uncostly, very cheap to replace. And we've already discussed that several times, or with a couple of city officials and so on. Because chances are someone's going to go down there and start and paint them or screw them up or something like that. So that's already kind of a contingency put in place.
Are they gonna be similar to those plaques that were on the Riverwalk?
They'll be a little different than that. Yeah. I should have brought, I was just thinking about it when I was sitting there, I should have brought some examples to show you what it'll look like. But I think it'll certainly highlight the history of our community very well, more so than many other cities from around the area, so.
And is Byron Cutchet gonna be in Civil War uniform on a horse?
He won't. That's the next step though, Lee, so we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Yes, I have a brief update for you guys, and I will also add to Mark's comment that I was present at one of the city council meetings when this plan was proposed to city council. I don't know if that night was for approval a couple months ago, but maybe just as a refresher.
Yeah.
And it did look quite amazing. I'm excited for that to go in. So I just wanted to add to that. And then it's not an update per se, but it was noted by staff that in the February meeting minutes, it was stated that Bill Connor, is that what that says? Connor, thank you.
Sorry.
His term was ending in February of 2022, but we have learned that information was not accurate and the term will not end until February 2024. So we wanted to make note of that in today's meeting for the record, since you can't necessarily go back and change the minutes from the last meeting. So that was all I had for you guys.
So we can't get rid of you.
You're stuck with me, guys, for 2 years.
Okay, members' discussion, anything else?
I have nothing.
No.
Just welcome.
Thank you.
First
Oh,
meeting.
actually, did you get introduced to the group last meeting? 'Cause
I
I'm
believe
not-
so. Yeah, it's been a couple months since then, but yes, I'm Katie. It's nice to meet all of you. And yes, everyone is looking familiar from last time, so yes, thank you. Oh, you weren't here? Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Adjournment's in order, without objection.
Nobody better object.